So good afternoon, everyone. Today we'll be discussing a case of pediatric optic neuritis. So briefly, an introduction. So optic neuritis refers to the inflammation of the optic nerve, typically associated with multiple sclerosis and visual loss over hours to days, with an adult of around 1 week. So and typical age of onset is around 18 to 45 years. And so here we'll be discussing a pediatric optic neuritis. And this is a subset where the age of presentation is less than 18 years. And usually we see atypical features of adult ON in pediatric optic neuritis. So mostly bilateral presence of disc swelling follows a viral infection. And literature shows a female predilection and also a MOG antibody seropositivity is noted to be higher. And they are also mostly steroid sensitive with good visual prognosis. So we had a 11-year-old male who presented to a pediatric emergency with complaints of sudden onset, rapidly progressive vision loss in the left side over the past 10 days. He also gave a history of ocular pain, like mild intensity, behind his eye, concurrent with the starting of the symptoms, lasting for around 3 days. And he had no other significant history, like no other similar episodes in the past, no similar complaints in the other eye, no history of any trauma preceding the onset of symptoms, no history of recent viral illness, recent vaccination. And most of the other history we probed were pretty negative. And birth history, the only significant history was that there was a history of neonatal admission because of jaundice and also birth asphyxia. And immunization history, he apparently misses vaccine at 10 years of age, most likely TT, they were not sure which vaccine. So on ocular examination, right eye was completely normal with a visual acuity of 6.6, and left eye was PL negative on presentation, and pupil was noted to be 3 mm sluggish grade 3 RAPD. Fundus, media was normal. The disc had some changes. It appeared slightly hyperemic. There was a mild elevation of the disc margin, and a single splinter hemorrhage was noted in the superior disc margin. Otherwise, completely normal. Extraocular movements were also full free, and no pain was noted on movements. So further, we investigated the patient. So MRI imaging was done with contrast, and we noted that the left optic nerve was appeared like there was hyperintensity in the retrobulbar area, intracanalicula and cysternal segment. And it was also extending up to the optic chiasm. And the maximum thickness was noted in the retrobulbar area. And further blood investigation, other investigations showed that MOG was strongly positive, NMO was negative. And we, since it's a pediatric case, we also did extensive workup to rule out any infectious causes, which all turned up negative. So this is the fundus image showing the splinter hemorrhage. So this was a combined effort with our department where we had suggested MRI. Then further, we also asked to start on high-dose IVMP after clearance from the other departments, and baseline investigation was done. And we serially monitored the patient through the admission. And pediatric department, they were the ones who had sending the appropriate lab investigations to arrive at any etiological diagnosis we could. And further, neurology had advised NMO and MOG, and that's when we found MOG was strongly positive. And they planned for PLEX if there is a plasma exchange if the vision did not improve satisfactorily. Finally, the diagnosis we came to was atypical pediatric optic neuritis with MOG antibody positivity. So intervention, we started on IV methylprednisolone, 1 gram per day was given 5 days. The child was monitored clinically and neurologically, and there was no evidence of any neurological deficit or any other positive symptoms through this day. And we further switched over to oral steroids. So outcome was on day 2 of starting the steroids, the child started there was a perception of light noted in the left eye. Day 4, there was hand movements close to face was appreciated. And further at discharge, it remained hand movements close to face. And on follow-up, we reviewed after a week of steroids, and that time was counting finger at 1 meter. And the second follow-up, which was a month later, was around counting finger at around 1.5 meter. So just briefly on literature review. So prognostic factors with poor visual outcome was noted in a study by Delphine et al. That is like age more than 10, optic disc pallor and multiple sclerosis. And there's an important study, the pediatric optic neuritis prospective outcome study, which noted that MOG-associated ON had lower risk of poor severe visual loss and recurrence. And the retrospective analysis showed a better visual recovery at follow-up and lesser chance of relapse in MOG-positive patients. And there's an Indian study, a retrospective analysis, which showed that if there's profound visual loss and presentation and bilateral involvement, they usually had poor visual outcome. And there's a similar case report to our study with a monocular blurring of vision. and similar findings, and that child had an excellent visual acuity recovery. In fact, that child had 6/6 recovery and normal color vision at the end. So the clinical implications of my case would be that one is that pediatric optic neuritis is actually a relatively rare and less studied as compared to other adult ON. And so more large-scale studies, especially long-term prospective studies, would be required um, to decide treatment. And the current treatment guidance actually are derived from the ONTT trials. So yeah, and also MOGAD optic neuritis has a better visual outcome according to studies. So it is vital to obtain imaging antibody marker tests at the earliest to determine the pathway of treatment.
Okay, thank you. Since this is a PG capsule, it's important for you PGs to understand that when you are making the slides, do not put more than 4 lines per slide. If a 4-minute talk, the total number of lines should be 16 in 4 slides. And you should practice conveying accurate information of what you want to say in those 16 sentences. Okay?
Yes,
Otherwise, many people lose interest. If you put the whole page of Harrison in one page of one slide, nobody has enough time to read, and you cannot sit and read all the information.
Yes.
So make only 1, 2, 3, 4 points per slide.
Okay.
And 30 seconds should be maximum time per slide.
Yes.
You understand? Good. Pediatric optic neuritis is extremely rare. I would say I have seen about 4 or 5 cases till now in my entire ophthalmic career.
Yes.
So it is quite rare.
It is rare, and it is sometimes tricky also, because it is not 1 + 1. We cannot go according to ONTT trial. They need a lot of investigation. It can be because of tuberculosis. It can be something atypical also. Sometimes we do get surprises. And yes, so MOG antibody was positive in this patient.
Yes.
So definitely they are notorious. Actually, MOG, once you get positive, you need to be more careful because they are notorious for recurrences. They will respond very fast, but they will recur very fast.
Yes.
So that is what you have to keep in mind, and sometimes these patients might need to be kept on long-term immunosuppressants also. So that is one thing which I just would like to add in this, otherwise it's okay. Thank you.